I just came across an article that's about Justin Baldoni having a new look, but there's a detail about Disney and what Bryan Freedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, is planning to do to them. So this article just popped up for me from the Daily Mail, and it's all about Justin Baldoni's new look. I don't really care about it, but it's very good to go through articles that you're not like so invested in, like what he looks like. I could care less. But when you read these articles, you go through, there's a lot of times little snippets of information that I think should be the headline and not this. But we'll go through it. So you guys may be interested in it and what he looks like, or his new look or whatever. I think some of the pictures in here of him are not that flattering. The way they have, way he's kind of like posed, and then some that are, but who cares? Again, the man is trying to survive a very traumatic, I believe, narcissistic abuse, bullying, false allegations, just everything you can think of, all the things we know about this case. So I am here for it, no matter what he's got going on. So Justin Baldoni unveils dramatic new look as catastrophic Blake Lively legal woes take their toll. Justin Baldoni unveiled a whole new look in his catastrophic legal battle with his former It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively. While he's become known for his long wavy locks over the years, the father of two is now rocking a faux hawk with shaved sides. The Jane the Virgin star, who admitted he was exhausted from a year of emotional stress last month, showed off his edgy haircut for the first time while with his two children, Maya and Maxwell, in Hawaii last week. As he took his kids out for shaved ice, the actor, 41, appeared to be seeking solace away from his woes back home that have dominated headlines for months. Despite his and Lively's 2024 romantic drama, okay, I'm glad. Sorry, guys, I'm still sick. They call it a romantic drama. She said it was a big, beautiful movie, but it's supposed to be about domestic violence. So, okay. The romantic drama grossing more than $350 million at the box office. Baldoni has spoke out battling anxiety since the film came out. While he did not specifically mention Lively or their respective lawsuits against each other, the performer reflected on his intense year and his mental health struggles. Now, here's the first picture. Like, why'd they catch him looking like this, guys? It's like, it could have been a moment he was turning or whatever, but it's like to make him look kind of sassy. But I'm not loving this haircut. I'm not going to lie. There's a few more pictures of it. I'll make it bigger again so you guys can read it, but there's more. There's a better picture, I promise. During an episode of the Gents Talk podcast taped in November and released last month, Baldoni explained that 2024 brought him a lot of material success and a lot of emotional stress. It was very hard on me and my family, he said. Baldoni went on to note that he needed to heal from last year and acknowledged he's a work in progress. I am somebody who is always trying to be radically sincere and authentic to myself so that I can be of service in the best possible way and have the most impact, he noted. In December, Lively filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Baldoni. Okay, I don't want to go through all of that. They just rehash these things. I don't know if it's to make the article long enough. Okay, let's keep going. So then they caught him again. He's standing there. Again, I do not think these are the best photos of him, like the way they caught him. Now, this is a photo that I thought he looked nice. I have to make it much smaller. I thought he looked much nicer in that one. Let me see if there's more. And I think he looks much nicer in this one. What do you guys think? I'll do it there. That to me reads more Justin Baldoni. Again, I'm not loving the haircut. Maybe it looks better when it's pulled into a bun, but like, I don't know. I like the previous hair, but again, it's none of my business what he wants to do with his hair. He probably doesn't like mine. So I'm gonna mind my business. On Tuesday, Reynolds filed a motion to be dismissed from Baldoni's $400 million defamation lawsuit. In the legal documents, Reynolds, 48, made reference to Nice Pool, a mockingly woke character in Deadpool and Wolverine, which premiered last July, which Baldoni claims is based on him, even down to the man bun hairstyle. So bring back the man bun. But actually, what's very interesting, what's really sad, the hairstyle that nice pull that Ryan Reynolds wore as nice pull to mock Justin Baldoni. He had grown his hair out to donate for cancer. And so he was mocking even that. Like, these people have no boundaries. They don't have, they really just don't care what they do to another person. So it's really sad. And also with his stress and healing, I've mentioned before, I'm still trying to just put that story together, where Justin Baldoni was hospitalized last June from all of the stress. He actually contracted a spinal infection, and the doctors tied it to his stress. And a lot of people were wondering, well, can stress cause an infection in the body? Absolutely, it can. And a lot of times it does. Many of us are suffering from ailments because of high cortisol levels and stress and our bodies breaking down. And anyone who's ever experienced narcissistic abuse or have some involvement with a person with narcissism, and when they set their sights on you, it can debilitate you. A lot of people have to be hospitalized, go into mental health treatment, all types of things because of the narcissistic abuse. I haven't been hospitalized for it, but I have dealt with narcissistic abuse coming my way from someone. And it's jarring, it's shocking, especially if you're a person that never really experienced it. You don't think like a narcissist. You just can't believe the lengths that they go to in order to destroy you for no reason at all, other than, I guess, it's just fun for them. Um, it's really, really a terrifying situation, and no one should ever make light of it. It is physically, it is a sense of a state of shock that you're in, like waking up at 2 a.m, and a sense of panic and dread, and things will come over your body. I have personally experienced this, and I would not wish this on anyone. It is horrific to go through. And it has lasting effects. It changes who you are. It changes your brain chemistry. There have been studies about this. It completely changes who you are fundamentally to the core. But we'll continue. Okay, so Reynolds claimed that Baldoni's thin skin, again, that's a way a bully, a narcissist does, say, you're just thin skin. You just can't take a joke. You're too sensitive. This thin-skinned outrage over a movie character, the satirical woke nice pull, does not even pretend to be tied to any actual legal claims. This is what Reynolds claimed. Instead, it falls into the general allegation of hurt feelings. Again, bullying tactics with this language, which in reality is nothing more than a desperate effort to advance the same curated bully image that Baldoni created and disseminated in the retaliation campaign they launched against Miss Lively in August of 2024. There was no retaliation campaign. They have no evidence of this. They just keep saying it, and they think because they say it, everyone should believe it. But Justin Baldoni has provided receipts of the opposite. Last week, a source, then this is important. Last week, a source exclusively revealed to Daily Mail that Baldoni's legal team will look into Disney's potential involvement in the alleged smear campaign against him and Reynolds and his wife. Against him by Reynolds and his wife. Baldoni's legal team is now going to try and do a deep dive into Deadpool and the funding for the film, as well as the actors and producers who were aware of this bullying when filming. I have talked about before, Disney is in trouble. Marvel's in trouble. The studios involved are in trouble. Now, I don't think production and crew are in trouble. I think, the people at the top will be, but you have to think about makeup artists, the script writers, the lighting, the assistant directors, there's just so many layers and so many people involved in making a movie. There are a lot of stars that were involved in this. The name popped up today that I didn't realize he was in this movie was Matthew McConaughey. Actually, I realized that yesterday. Matthew McConaughey, now he just gave a voiceover for one of the Deadpool, I guess, corpse scene, the same one that Kidpool was in, and that's how I found out. But this is really bad for Disney. This is really bad for everyone involved, especially when you start to see the notes, what was said, the minutes, any recordings. They may be able to get all of the the footage from behind the scenes that we're not privy to before it goes to the cutting floor, before it's edited. So all of the, like they're just filming for hours straight. His team, I believe, will be able to get hold of that and see what was said. So this lawsuit is very multi-layered. But besides that, he has not yet sued Disney and Marvel, but I do see that coming unless Disney and Marvel decides to settle with him, which I think would make the most sense for them. Now, for Blake and Ryan, that's a different story. But for these studios, they certainly do not want this type of thing to be unpacked the way this case is being unpacked. And it's already tying in Deadpool and Marvel and all of that. But Justin Baldoni has a huge claim for what has happened. Now, they'll try to say that it was satirical and that you're allowed to use, comedy and that type of thing in this. But based on this is based on real allegations and a real life thing that happened. This isn't just making fun of someone. This is, supposed to be tied into It Ends With Us and the sexual harassment and all of these things. And then once you find out what was actually, what was Ryan telling people, how did they come about to develop this nice pool character? Did Disney know that this was what they were trying to do? Guys, I'm ready for the tea, but it's going to be exhausting combing through all of that stuff. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because I will keep you updated. So they're going to do the deep dive. They said that the fact that Reynolds has not disputed the claim that Nice Pool was based on Baldoni had opened up the scope of how Baldoni's lawyers may attempt to prove that their client had been under a coordinated attack. And even we can look at criminal charges. I've told you guys I'm working on that as well, where, there's extortion. There's this actually qualifies for a RICO case, racketeering. Based on what's out here already, we haven't even gone through discovery yet. We haven't even done depositions yet. So get ready. Being Ryan admitted that the Nice Pool character in Deadpool was based on Justin, he not only dragged Hugh Jackman into the forefront and the directors and producers of the film, but also Disney, the insider continued. Essentially, Ryan said in court documents that Disney allowed money to be spent on a film that they knew would be a blockbuster hit on bullying another person. And I got to find, someone actually told me in a comment. So thank you guys when you give me information in the comments. I try to comb through them and read through them as much as I can. But someone actually told me that Ryan has said in an interview that he always gets consent from the person before he does any type of satirical work or makes fun of them in the movie. Surely not to the point of Nice Pool, but if he makes a joke about somebody that he knows or another star, that he gets consent. So I'm working on finding that. If you guys know where that is, please send me the link or, let me know where that is, where I can find it. They noted that the action of creating Nice Pool presented further questions. Furthermore, why would Ryan, who believed that his wife was being sexually abused or harassed at the time, create a role for his attacker? What was once a theory is now confirmed. That just opened up the scope. There is a massive power struggle here. They continued. Blake and Ryan thought they were untouchable and could get away with anything. In his recent legal requests, Reynolds described himself as a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional and reputational and financial devastation Lively endured. So there we go. That is the man bun. And that was what Justin Baldoni was growing his hair out for. And there's Ryan Reynolds making fun of it. And it has been shown that he is wearing a nose prosthetic or some type of makeup to make his nose bigger, I believe to make fun of his Jewish heritage, which is anti-Semitic. People are saying, I don't see it. I don't know how you don't. If you look at the close-ups of it, I think I may have to do do a video to break that down so people can see it. But then they're going to have to talk to the makeup artist and what was instructed, what was said. Again, this is wild that Disney would allow this, but we know they allowed that little girl to say, his daughter, Ryan Reynolds' daughter, to say, if I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's D out of your mouth. And Wolverine is Hugh Jackman, who is basically an uncle to this little girl. It's completely disgusting. He also claimed Baldoni was attempting to shame him for being the kind of man who was confident enough to listen to the women in his life and stand with her. The woman in his life is staying with her. Okay. However, the insider claimed that the judge was unlikely to approve the motion to dismiss Baldoni's case. Speaking to TMZ on Wednesday, Baldoni's lawyer Brian Freedman said Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Freeman doubled down, accusing Reynolds of playing a central role in what he called a smear campaign. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. Friedman scoffed at Reynolds' attempt to exit the case, and his claims about Baldoni's thin-skinned reaction to the nice pool character. His fingerprints have been all over this smear campaign against Justin and the Wayfair team since day one, he said. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. He didn't stop there, adding, after lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfair party's claims against him are real, and they are serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear in as many sketch shows as he wants and feebly try to make light of his current situation, but we will not stop until he is held accountable for his actions. The sketch show's dig appears to be a reference to Reynolds' SNL 50 appearance, where he seemingly mocked the ongoing legal drama with Baldoni. Reynolds is seeking dismissal with prejudice, which would bar Baldoni from refiling the suit in the future. It's going nowhere. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even seem like lawyers wrote a lot of it. It was like Ryan forced a lot of it because it's the same type of bullying that we see from him. And it's just really weird and aggressive for that type of language to come from an actual attorney. So guys, make sure that you are following me here on Melanie Off Script. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more stories I have coming up for you. Make sure you follow me as well on social media. Well, if you would like, the links will be in the description box below. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one.